Hi, this is Diana. You're watching Healing Sin Vergüenza. New episodes every 2 weeks.
Hi, I'm Fabiola.
Hi, Ashley.
Diana.
This is Healing Sin Vergüenza. Today we're going to talk about the birds and the bees, how our Mexican parents talk to us about the birds and the bees.
Sexual.
I mean, she had literally like a 2-minute conversation with me where she said, Fabiola, si tú tienes sexo con alguien antes de casarte, te va a matar. And I was like 13 years old.
That's like Mean Girls, that one episode.
But not like she said, te va a matar.
Wait, ¿quién te va a matar?
Your husband that you marry.
What?
Yeah, because you already had sex. Like you gave yourself up to somebody,
So
right?
that's it.
So that's it. So now your real husband is going to kill you. And I was like, I was 13.
Oh, jeez.
And I remember that I literally was so afraid because my parents would put like the fear of God in me all the time. Like, Dios te va a castigar. Dios está mirando.
Really?
No hagas eso. No puedes. Like, they would never say, you can't kiss anybody. You can't have a boyfriend. You can't. But it was always like to the extreme.
Directly. Yeah.
Right?
Like, you're gonna
if
die.
you have sex before you get married, and then when you get married, your husband's going to kill you. Imagine telling that to a 13-year-old who, like,
I would be so scared.
is so innocent and has no idea, like,
13.
what that even means.
Yeah, no, I would be so
I was
scared.
petrified.
Yeah.
How did they tell you?
Well, obviously my dad didn't tell me anything.
Yeah,
It was
mine didn't either.
No, my dad didn't tell me, but my mom did.
Yeah.
My dad never told me anything. My mom just told me, like, basically it was just be safe, don't like trust anyone. If you do something, like, let me know, I'll be here, like, supportive, but like don't do it. But it wasn't like to the extreme, like you're gonna die. It was just like
Or they're going to kill you.
yeah, like there's diseases out there and there's no going back, but I mean some things are curable, we know that. But
For any of you that are afraid.
yeah. No, because back then I really was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna die. Like if I were to get like something. But she did have the like convo with me about, you know, like being safe and there's diseases out there. So that was her like scare tactic for me.
Yeah.
Not the like
Well,
your
mine
route of
went-
God, but mine was the there's these things out there that you're gonna get. But yeah, she was like talk to me about it, which was nice. How about for you?
My dad obviously didn't ever talk to me about it. My mom, she took me outside to the garden. She grabbed a flower. And I didn't think about it till I was like a lot more grown. But the reproductive organs of a flower are just the same as like a woman. So like they have ovaries and all these things and whatever. So she took the flower and she just kind of took it apart and she showed me like where it's fertilized and where the seeds are dropped and where they grow.
wow.
And I was like, okay, whatever. But we didn't directly talk about like physical having sex. Like we didn't talk about any of that stuff. But that was her form of talking about it, which is sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah, that's how that was
But
too.
that was the
'Cause
sex
it wasn't
talk.
like a conversation of
No.
like there's a penis and there's
No,
it was
none of
not
that.
like
it was
that.
like from fertilization to reproduct to having the baby, but it wasn't like physically having sex. We never talked
yeah,
about
same. It
that.
was very surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I
Mine was
did the
very
same with
extreme.
my kid. What did you do with the kids? Because what I did, I literally went biological with it. Like I took out the textbook. I showed my oldest like the sperm and the egg and how that kind of comes together and just the whole reproductive thing. And we did talk about the sex. Actually, no, we did not talk about that. I didn't talk about that with my daughter. I haven't had that conversation with her.
Oh.
Okay, well, for me it was a little different. Like, I did do the whole reproductive thing, right? But I also...
With your kids?
Yeah, but I also, like, have done, like, different things to my daughter where I'll say, one day you're going to grow up and you're going to want to be intimate with someone, and that's okay. You're entitled to do that when you're ready with the person that you decide. You just have to make sure that whoever you pick, treats you the way I treat you and the way dad treats you. It's so important that we teach our kids how to be treated. So what I mean by that is on Valentine's Day, she gets flowers and balloons. Okay. Birthdays, same thing. Everything, there's so much like love and nurture, right? And so much respect when it comes to like privacy, when it comes to like her needs, that it's so important that we teach her that that is what love means. Not when someone tries to possess you or control you or or is critical of you or criticizes you. It's love is something beautiful, you know. And I also add that to the birds and the bees talk because, you know, she's young. She's gonna meet a boy that she's gonna really like, and we just have to make sure it's the right boy. You know, I think fathers play such an important role.
Oh yeah, my dad would do that sometimes. Like get me like my birthdays. I remember growing up, like flowers, balloons, and like Valentine's when I was younger, like putting little notes in the like lunchbox.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
yeah. I think fathers play such a big role in how daughters perceive love, right? So we make it a point. Not only her body's a temple, we don't give it away to just anyone.
Do you tell them like this age, like you absolutely cannot do anything until like this age or until you're married or something?
Well, that's wild. No, I do not say that. Like, what I say is
they're gonna do it either way. Right?
But also, no, that's discouraging, I think.
Yeah.
Not that I'm encouraging it, but you know, one day she's gonna fall in love, right? One day, and I hope it's done through love and not a situationship or, you know, whatever's trending nowadays where you guys just agree to hook up or whatever. Like, no, I want her to be respected and loved and admired, which is why we treat her that way, so she knows the difference. You know, it's hard in LA, I think.
No, that's so scary when I think about my oldest, like dating, and as she gets older and meets boys, the older she gets. I mean, I'm sure they're worse the older they get, but that frightens me so much, I swear.
I bet.
But like even my older son, like he loves when, I think he really likes it when a girl is not too enthusiastic about, you know, kissing or holding hands. He'll even say like no.
He likes to chase. He likes to be the one. And
he also likes it when they respect each other. I heard him say she has self-respect, and I like that. Which I'm like, wow, I'm doing something right. But for my daughter, this is why we emphasize that, because she does have to have self-respect.
And how did you talk to the boys about it? Because the girl, or was it like the same conversation?
It's the same conversation, you know. I mean, it gets to a point where you're curious about your body, and you're allowed to explore your body. It's your body by yourself.
Oh, she's so good.
You're allowed to explore your body. There is no criticism. It's your body. In a private setting, explore it, right? But I do say you're too young to explore it with other people, right? And you know, we would hold off until you're a little bit more emotionally mature. You know, your body is sacred, and we don't just give it away to anyone. These are like things that I constantly will reiterate in my home. I don't shame anyone. I refuse to do that because there was a lot of shaming when I was growing up, and my mom was highly critical. I don't do that to my kids. My kids are 100% themselves.
That's good.
What do you say, Diana? Do you say your body's a temple and things like that? I know that's cheesy, but I do say that.
We haven't had that conversation. I'm kind of more I try to be a friend to my oldest daughter. She's 15, so she's kind of in that whole, you know, I know she wants to be in a relationship and all these things, but I try to kind of be a friend to her so she feels comfortable coming to me if there's a boy she likes. And she does. She tells me everything about whatever boy she likes, and you know, how he's behaving and how she feels or whatever's going on that given day. But she's very open about it. I'm sure there are things that she does not tell me, but for the most part, we kind of come together and we talk about things, and I try to give her the best advice. And she seems to be open about it too. She listens, and so that's what we do.
You create a safe environment, which is why she feels safe coming and telling you how she feels.
Yeah.
Because I
I
think
mean, I think regardless, they're not going to tell you everything.
Absolutely,
Whether
no.
you're coming from a very motherly
Yeah.
approach or a friend approach, there are things that they're not going to tell us, you know what I mean? No matter how open you are. So I try to, that's the best I can do. Is just kind of not judge her as much as I can so that she does feel comfortable whenever she wants to tell me something. But that's just what I feel that's my approach
What
to her.
works for you.
Yeah.
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 I also don't when I give advice, I give at the end of the day they're going to do whatever they want to do, right? But I always try to be like, look, if you do this, you'll do this. This is the outcome. If you do this, this is the outcome. But you decide. It's your life. And I think that that's important to allow them to be authentically themselves, even when it comes to their body and their self-image and things like that, you know? But I wish my mom would have talked to me a little bit more about it,
Yeah.
you know? I think if I would have known what love was, or because a lot of people don't know what love is. What is love? What is love? Is it sex? Is it just
Means
sex?
something
Yeah.
different for everyone.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's whatever's meaningful to you, whatever's most important to you in your relationship.
Yeah.
When I first started dating my partner, I came home with like those ramo buchones, a really, really big one. And my mom was like, she told me she saw the flower. She's like, oh wow, like so sweet. And she was like, no más que estés dando las nalgas por unas flores. And I was like,
Does
what?
that? My mom used to say the same thing. No más que estés dando las nalgas, Fabiola. And I'm like, what? What? Where does that come from?
I know, where does it
I don't know.
That's cool. I would know when she told me that. I was like, girl.
Did they ever say that to you?
No, ever.
I used to have a
no.
friend who her dad used to tell her, no más que estés dejando que te estén chingando. And
What?
I would be like, what does that mean? Because I didn't, every family has different sayings.
Yeah, and different
right?
sayings.
So I would be like, what does that mean? But no, I can't even imagine talking to my daughter that
Oh
way.
yeah, no.
I can't even.
Yeah, no. I was like, girl, come on. That's how you know we're from a way different generation. And for some flowers, I don't need more than that.
For some flowers.
Oh, so funny.
It's crazy.
I know. And how was it? How was it with your parents? Did your moms talk to you guys about like the menstrual cycle?
No.
No, nothing at all.
No.
My
mine
mom,
either.
no. I
No.
remember she was at the grocery store when I got it. And all she did was like, here, I got you this. And that was it. I had to figure out the rest on myself.
Really?
Thank God, in school in 5th grade, they go through that anyway,
Yeah.
right? Which I got most of my knowledge there. But for her to actually sit down and have a conversation about my menstrual cycle, I mean, she was really good about the things I couldn't eat. Like, don't eat lemon, anything citrusy, anything that's too fresh because you're going to get cramps. No chile.
Oh, really? I didn't know that was a
No
thing.
chile. She was really good about making me té de manzanilla, which is chamomile tea. She would come and she would give it to me. She would, especially when I was on my cycle, she'd be like, do not be barefoot because el frío te entra al estómago y luego you get cramps. I remember she would say things like that.
Parents love
So
that
she was
barefoot
like-
stuff.
She was like nurturing in that aspect. Like, but for her to sit down and tell me like, hey, you're going to have, your menstrual cycle every 28 days. No.
Oh, wow.
I had to figure that out on my own.
How about you?
No, she didn't talk to me about any of that. She just kind of handed me the, equipment, the
Yeah.
stuff.
The equipment.
And that
you
was
go.
that. But with my daughter, I made a point to sit her down and go just from A to Z. Just be very clean. Make sure your everything is clean all the time. Be careful. Be prepared. Be
Yeah.
a lady about it. You don't want things laying around everywhere. Be very hygienic and fresh, and just just cover all the bases.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. My mom talked to me about it. And I remember when I got it, my dad, she told me my dad started crying.
Oh.
Yeah, that he started crying.
I could totally see
Yeah,
him
and that he was
crying.
so sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that
you're
like
like
stuck with
growing
me.
up, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was older too when I got it. I was about to be 14 when I got
Oh,
my
that's
menstrual
I was
really
cycle.
14 also. How old
I
are you?
remember
like 12.
really,
No way.
I remember I used
Mhm.
to lie because all my friends had their periods, and I wanted to be like cool.
Oh, that was a
You
thing?
know, I wanted
That
to be
wasn't a thing for
cool.
us.
So I'd
No.
be like, I'll be back, guys. I'm gonna go do my thing, and there was no thing to do.
Oh my
You
God,
know?
no way.
You
Yeah.
really?
I was like a late bloomer in every aspect.
Yeah?
Like in every aspect, you know?
No, growing up at school wasn't like a thing how you were saying the girls like
It was.
yeah, no, it wasn't like that for us. No one really asked or cared. It was like your own business from what I remember. But I did stain my clothes a few times.
Yeah, I
At
did too.
school.
The one thing that I wish that she would have been a little bit more open about is, you know, every time that you go and pee, you have to change. Like that is like,
Mm.
and that's something that I learned on my own. And also my sister who took on the mother role for me, she would also tell me things like you have to be very clean.
Yeah.
You have to be very clean. You have to change it every time you pee. You have to
Shower
often. My
Oh,
mom
yeah.
was different. Like don't eat egg because then you'll smell. Things like that.
Yeah, I
you
didn't
know?
even know that was a thing, like with certain
Yeah.
foods and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
You knew
really
that?
good. She wouldn't
Oh,
let
my
me
mom-
eat
I did
any
not know.
chile. Any chile or lemon. I remember she'd follow me around. Or get in the pool. I remember I would want to go swimming.
Oh,
And she'd be
yeah.
like, you cannot swim. And I'd be like, oh, man.
Aw.
Aw, Diana.
How was it when you brought your first like boyfriend or someone you were dating home to meet your parents?
Okay, so that was like a big issue at home because my first real boyfriend was half black, half white, and at the time it was extremely rare to date someone like out of your race. Like it wasn't as accepted as it is now to be, dating someone
Yeah.
outside of your race. And so I mean, I loved the guy oh my God, I loved him so much. So I wanted to make it work as much as I could, but my dad was not open to it. He was just,
Because of his race?
yeah, like it just was so unknown at the time. Like it was so rare. You never saw it. Not until like J-Lo was dating Puff Daddy, then it became cool to date interracially. So it was really hard. I was always sneaking out to see him. And I became like the best liar during that time because I did
damn.
whatever it took to see him.
And he was so nice.
He was
He
beautiful.
was such a nice
How long
guy.
were you guys together for?
It was only 5 years, but it felt like
5?
forever.
That's a long time.
It felt like forever. He was like the best boyfriend.
How old
I
were you
could
when you
ever
met
have.
him?
I was
In high school still?
Yeah, I was in high school, and it went on till after high school.
Oh, wow.
So it was we were sneaking around the entire time.
the whole 5 years?
The whole 5 years was sneaking around and
Oh, damn.
but he was a very important person in my life. It was a healthy relationship, but not very healthy because I remember I was really aggressive. I took on, the behaviors of my dad. So I was very aggressive, controlling and all these things, and he was so sweet and so amazing, and I saw that as like a weakness, I think, because I wasn't used to men
Like, you're
being
not
so
a-
nice to
yeah.
me. Because my dad was so aggressive, and so I took advantage of it, thinking like, this is weird. I'm not used to a man treating me so well and talking to me so in such a sweet, nice way. So I kind of didn't step all over him, but it was just, I was very aggressive with it. But yeah. So that's
For me, I ended up marrying mine. He was very important in my life. And my mom absolutely adored him because he was more docile than I was. I remember, like, when we were getting married, she said to him, I'm more worried about you than I'm worried about my daughter.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right?
It took me a while to get it. But.
Yeah. like my personality was much
Yeah.
bigger than
Mm-hmm.
his.
That's how. I'm trying to think about mine. I mean, I was pretty older already, like my early 20s. My parents loved him. And we're like, oh my God, no, you can't be dating or anything like that. They're like, if she's happy, then I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But you know what's crazy though, now that I'm thinking about it, like had they known what they know now, like as far as who I ended up with having kids, I bet you they would rewind the time and encourage it. I guarantee you they
Yeah,
would have been like,
yes, I
Diana,
agree.
if we could go back in time, please marry. If they could rewind the time, they would totally encourage me to just to marry him and to end up with him, to have kids with him. My life would have been so different.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
I
for a
agree. I agree.
fact.
Because if we're gonna match up hearts, like his heart versus who you ended up with, like and even intention, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
Aw.
Oh, my life would have been so
Oh, so that's the
different.
what if.
And
Oh,
also
of
he was
course.
very like religious. Remember?
Oh, he was very
Or was it
religious.
spiritual?
Both, because his dad
Yeah.
was a pastor.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so
He's
he
a
went to
good
church
guy.
every Sunday. He was, he was the drummer. He played music at church, and
Oh.
everything was, I would even go to church with him too, and his
Yeah, I
dad, and
remember that.
it was beautiful.
Yeah,
It
and he
really
treated her
was.
so well.
Yeah. So I think my parents, even to this day, I bet, when they think about it, they're probably like, what did we do? Why did we interfere? Her life would have been so different. Because I know as a parent, I would think the same. I'd look back and say, what were we thinking? We should have encouraged her. If that's who she loves, that's who she loves. Because then she chose this guy and her life completely went to shit
Yeah.
for that time.
And I think also like with the older generation of like Latinos, you see a lot of, which is crazy, a little bit of like race, like you see
Oh,
racism
totally.
with dating outside of your
I wasn't
culture.
allowed to. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think even like through the years, I wasn't allowed to. She would say like, "Don't you dare and bring me someone
Anyone
that's
outside
not
of Mexican.
anyone that's not Mexican.
Yeah.
Don't you dare."
Even within the Latino community, they still wouldn't.
About certain other
right,
yeah.
right. Let alone Asian and
Yeah,
Filipino
there was,
or
like,
whatever.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, I, whoever my kids decide to marry is a blessing.
Yeah, my parents were not like
and
that
it
with
does not
me.
matter. It
Oh,
does not
they've
matter
never-
who it is.
No, they're like whoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I am
Yeah,
too.
no, my
Whoever you
parents
love.
were racist,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. Your life would have been completely
Oh
different.
my God, it would have.
Damn, girl, sorry.
It's the one that got away.
But he's happy though. He's happy.
Oh
and-
yeah, does he have?
Oh, he's happy. He's been married for years.
Oh
and,
shit.
we just happened to kind of catch up, and he seems happy. He seemed happy. We didn't really get too much into
Yeah.
his, situation or
Oh
whatever.
wow.
But
After all that time.
he seems happy, and it was
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
I have good memories of him.
Oh,
I
he was the
mean,
greatest. He
really
was the
good
best.
memories of him.
Good example of like the first relationship that you should have to move forward with, like your, it's a good example of how
Yeah,
you
it
should.
sounds like
yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You got a lot of good things to say.
Too many, huh?
Yeah. She's like.
He won't know who it is. Or yeah, he will. He'll know. Whatever.